When you came on the aircraft carrier, uh, if you didn't have a eagle on your shoulder that designated what your job was, you were just a seaman, as I was. You could be put anywhere, and that's what they did, especially in Vietnam time. The numbers weren't what they should have been for the crew, so when anything was low, you were picked and you were told where to go, where you're going to work at. And when I first came onto the Intrepid, my first job was in the bakery, and then later on I was put in the deck crew. I even had the experience what is the word? Check off for training, for emergency training. I even had a great experience. I'm talking about experiences on a helicopter and all that. I actually, to make it easy, I drove the ship. I held the helm of the ship. Yeah, it was a half-hour training that I had to go through, and that was one experience that you start to realize and appreciate how weight is and how you just don't turn it like you turn a car. The captain is calling the course. You got a navigator, not navigator, quartermaster who's plotting it out. But the helmsman is a seaman. And you have the helmsman, and then you have I forget the name, the guy on the gears talking to the engines, how much speed we need and how much not. So yeah, that's until you do it, you don't realize how. I mean, you have to stay on course. It's not like driving a car at all, because you have so much weight, and you also have the ship in the water being controlled. Right. So I mean, it's something that I see why they had you experience that ahead of time, so that when you had to do it, you respect it, and you know that you just don't pull it too hard. You just got to keep it. And you would think that like in a car where you're sitting there and looking out the window and enjoying it, it doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. You got a compass right in front of you, and you got to keep on that. He called what? Okay, and you repeat back. Okay, he wants such and such. Okay, and this is what you do, and you got to stay on it. And the weight of the ship, the tilt of the ship, the buoyancy of the ship, it's a job. It's not play. That's the problem. It's too easy to turn, and you have to keep it on. He said 160. It stays on 160, but the ship itself drifts to 161, and you don't do a hard turn on it. You gently take, because when that weight starts to move,
yeah, it's a lot of weight,
and you just don't turn it back that quick. So in the first 10 to 15 minutes, you realize you got to respect what you're doing. You got to pay attention to that compass. There's no looking around to enjoy the ride. You're the main important person here holding this ship, and you got to keep it on at 160 as for. And it's not doing it for you. The ship is always keeling one way or the other, going the way it wants to go. And you got to, and I mean gently, because too much and you feel it. Everybody feels it.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at you. The captain's looking at you. Why is it tilting so much? The guy know what he's doing? So in 10 to 15 minutes, you realize, yeah, this is not fun. This is a job that you got to pay attention to what you're doing. And you can tell, also too, you can tell when someone's new on the helm. You can feel it on the ship. You can feel it twitting from one side to the other. Oh, this guy got to be new, So you get to respect it, and like everything in the Navy, training is the key. And you hold a helm, you realize that it does take good training. Yeah. Temporary quarters. Mm-hmm. The things are just going. It was on the line, so things were already hopping when I got on, and I don't know when. I don't know. It seemed like it was the same day that I was assigned to the bakery. So then they explained to me that's how it goes. We put you where you need you right now, and we'll find you a division later on that we're going to have you in. I even had what made me decide to break out the books and want to be a radarman in CIC is when I was told that because of your size, you're pretty strong looking and you're small. You're not very big, but you're strong. We got a thing called a tunnel rat that we need in Vietnam, and I'm gonna put you on that list. This was also a threat too, because I had voiced my opinion too much to a third classman who was in charge of us. So Osborne, I'll never forget him, from Boston. He was our
On the Intrepid.
yeah, he was a chief that had got busted down to first class. He was a rough guy, but he told me, Kellum, I heard you talking to my man right here, and you were giving him a whole lot of grief. I'm putting you on the list for tunnel rat. I said, you said what? And without him knowing it, I said, I've been thinking about this. I'm not really enjoying this division that much anyway. And I secretly broke out the books for radarman right away. And I got so serious about the Navy from that point on. I said, yeah, I've been enjoying it too much on the easy side. I said, now it's time to get serious. And when I had finished my course, there's nothing he could do when I asked for the transfer. And there I went to radar. The radar scope itself is going to pick up everything, surface-wise. Ships, air, everything is picked up with the radar. Anytime you're out at sea, you're covering 200 miles. You get to see the importance of that too. And anything moving 200 miles, you start plotting their course of speed and their direction so that you know how close and how much time before it gets to you. That's why you defend yourself at 200 miles. Always 200 miles. Vietnam, we didn't expect anything coming, but we still covered 200 miles. That's just the protocol. Secondly, now you're saying different radars. No. A radar is going to pick up everything. So there's not different types of radars. It's this, in that different sections in that in CIC, he's plotting the ships, he's plotting this, he's plotting that.
Yeah.
It's the same radar scopes. All of them are the same, but they're just assigned to different areas or different jobs, but it's the same thing. Whatever is on his scope is on my scope. That's why I picked up this plane.
Okay.
Because I could see the ships around us. I could see the planes coming in, but we don't pay attention to that because the squadrons are following. But since I wasn't assigned to surface, I wasn't assigned to this. I wasn't assigned to anything. I was just plotting everything, and just sort of getting myself back in the realm, because I know in a week or two I'm going to be back here again. I'm going to be relieved from the chief's quarters. So I was just plotting, as I said, wasn't assigned anything, so I was just plotting everything just to get back in the groove again. And that's why I saw the plane when it blipped off. It wasn't there again. Force of habit is, because you know your job, it blipped off, you mark where it blipped off. That didn't mean anything, because what's my job? I know his squadron had him. It could have been nothing.
That's a good thing you did.
Yeah, and that's why, the captain's calling for what? Hey, I got something. Felt good that I had something, and like I said, he only had 20 minutes, we know that. Sharks don't mess around. Even when I speak about it, I do speak about the fact that my carrier is a museum now, and still it's in New York Harbor, and I find myself saying those words and being proud of it. But I was also proud of it in the day, because as I was always proud of the fact that we kept that E for efficiency in our divisions, because we worked as a good group. And Intrepid has that name. Most sailors you talk to about the Intrepid was, even with our little stripes here and there and our differences, and some people slower than others to adjust to life as it changed, we all worked as a good unit. And I was proud of that. And sometimes when I come back to the ship from Liberty, I would look up and see that 11. And I was proud of that. And then I see the E for efficiency on the side of the ship, and I say, boy, those things you are proud of, and it makes you feel good that you're part of a tight unit that does a good job.